Assalamu alaikum students, I am Adnan Hossain, lecturer in English, Dhaka College, and today we are going to learn narration. Perhaps it's turning a little bit boring for you because you people are thinking that why we are taking so much time to learn a particular item. Now the thing is, you know that you have a very concise syllabus now, a brief syllabus. Because of that, we are taking the opportunity to teach you the grammatical items, taking more time. For example, we have learned the direct to indirect narration, but today we are going to see some examples of converting the indirect narration into the direct one. Before that, I would like to discuss about another matter. All of us know that our national mourning day, the 15th August, the day when our father of the nation was martyred along with his family and some other eminent freedom fighters and some civilians, innocent civilians were killed on this very day in 1975. On this occasion, Dhaka College has arranged a quiz competition and an essay writing competition and a recitation competition for its students. The students of Dhaka College, they may get the information from the Facebook page of the official Facebook page of Dhaka College. I hope that our students will participate more and more in this competition and ultimately make it a success and pay a tribute to the sacrifice of our great father of the nation. Thank you. Let's go to our topic. Okay, let's focus. Now, the teacher ordered the students to listen to him and not to make a noise. One student raised hand and said that he had a question. He asked what that day's topic was. Now here we are going to change it into direct narration. So the rules we have learned from direct to indirect will be reversed. For example, the teacher ordered the students to listen to him and not to make a noise. So we can understand that when there are expressions like order, like advise, like forbid, then these are actually imperative sentence. As we have learned earlier, that is, or when we are changing the narration from imperative to the indirect one, then we use the expressions like order, advise, forbid, etc. Now the teacher said to the students, to listen to him. That means listen to this. Him is actually referring to the teacher. So listen to me, not to make a noise. It will be changed into do not make a noise, because the teacher is actually ordering the students not to make a noise. So it will be the teacher say to the students, do not make a noise. Do not make a noise. Now this part, that is, one student raised hand and said that he had a question. So this part, one student raised hand, this is not in the within the inverted comma, that is, this is not the part of the reported speech. That is the reason we are going to keep it unchanged. One student raised hand and said, we will omit this that, rather than we are using inverted comma. Then this he is referring to the student. So when we are keeping it in the inverted comma, we are going to give it, we are going to change it as I, and then I have a question. He asked what that day's topic was. So this is actually a question basically, because he is asking something. We will not use any different thing or any different clause for this he asked, as we can understand that these two sentences are actually in the same, within the same inverted comma. So we are just omitting this asked. He asked, and what is the what is, instead of that day we will use today, because we can recall that today was changed into that day when it comes to changing the direct narration into indirect one. So what is today's topic? So this is basically the whole direct format. Just have a quick look what we have done. At first, we have converted the told into said to. Then we identified in which form of the sentence the first and the beginner one is in, and we find that they are in the imperative form. So we are just converting those into imperative format. That is, listen to me, do not make a noise. Then we are keeping those parts which are out of the inverted comma intact. One student raised hand and said, I have a question. What is today's topic? Now, here in the indirect portion, the sentence was that he had a question and asked what the topic of that day was. So, the was will be converted into is. Today, that day will be converted into today, and the other part will remain as it is, the topic. So we are just reversing the rules we have learned in course of converting the indirect, direct to indirect narration. That's the thing, nothing else. We have to be cautious when we are changing narration, especially in these cases, that is indirect to direct one, and just reverse those rules which we have already learned. That is all, nothing else. So let's proceed and let's see another example. The Roman soldier said that after returning home winning the war, I had found that my land is taken by a rich man. He added that he gave everything for Rome, but he was penniless then. The traveler exclaimed with sorrow and said that it was very sad. So here we find that there are two speakers here, the Roman soldier and the traveler. So let's start from the first sentence. That is, the Roman soldier said that after returning home winning the war, I had found my land is taken by a rich man. So at first, as there is no told, we are not changing anything. The Roman soldier said, then we are changing this after into capital letter. We are just capitalizing it because this part will remain as it is. As we know that in case of causative verb, or if there are any clause where just there is one main verb plus ing, but this is the part of any subordinate clause, or this is the part of any causative verb sentence, then we are not going to change this main verb plus ing, and we will not do that. That is, after returning home winning the war, this will be actually he had found. In case of indirect narration, my mistake, I have given this I, although this will be I had found in the direct part. In the indirect part, it was supposed to be he, and because the speaker is the Roman soldier. Now I had found. This had found is used in the indirect narration perhaps for two reasons. One, maybe it was when we are changing it into direct one, it would be like the simple past tense. As we know, the simple past is changed into indirect part as past perfect. However, the past perfect also remain unchanged. So we may give it I had found or found, because past perfect, it occurs in the indirect narration when there is simple past, but at the same time we know that past perfect itself remain unchanged. So if we consider that, okay, we will not change this past perfect, as past perfect is always unchanged in the direct from indirect conversion, then when we are converting the indirect form into the direct one, we will not change the past perfect. Okay, you can do this because you are allowed to keep past perfect as it is. I had found or found that my land it was supposed to be his land and was taken, but when I am changing it into direct one from the indirect, then it would be my land this was will be was, because this is a past form. My land was taken by a rich man. So here we may be may think that we will stop here, that is, we will keep the inverted comma here, but we have another sentence, that is he added that. So we will not do that, because when we find that he is adding something, it refers that actually these are also uttered by the Roman soldier. He added that he gave everything for Rome, but he was penniless then. So this added that part will always be removed and it will not be replaced by anything. Why? Because these are actually the continuation of the previous sentence. So here the part within the inverted comma will be just continued. So here we are not giving any added that, rather we are omitting any phrase like added, also said, etc. I gave everything, he gave everything. That means I give everything for Rome, but he was penniless then. So narration is always about changing tense, narration is always about changing person, and narration is always about changing some particular words which are basically used as adverbs of time and referring to the nearer time, which will be changed into far away times. Now when I am changing indirect to the direct one, the process will be reversed. That is, I am changing this simple past tense into simple present tense. He gave everything for Rome. Now I give everything for Rome, but this third person, as the Roman soldier is telling about himself, so it will be first person I. This simple past tense will be simple present, I am penniless, and this very nearby word, far away word, that is then, this adjective will be changed into now, but I am penniless now. Here we are going to end the inverted comma, because from here the speech of another speaker that starts, that is the traveler is speaking. Now the traveler exclaimed with sorrow and said that it was very sad. The traveler exclaimed with sorrow. So when somebody is exclaimed with sorrow, perhaps it is like any expression like oh or sad. Now we are not using any word like sad, because in this case this sentence may be like the traveler exclaimed with sorrow and said that it was very sad. So nothing that sort of thing is written here. So perhaps we may say the traveler instead of exclaimed, as we are converting it into direct narration, the traveler said. Oh, in case of sadness, we use oh, ah. or alas, these things. So we may give here oh. Then this connector and will be omitted and said that this part also will be omitted because these were used in the indirect part just because it was at that time it was referring that he was adding something, but now this added sentence will be added without any character, without any transition part. So we may say oh it instead of was, as we will use it is. We are using is instead of was because when we are using just was, it is actually simple past tense. Now simple past will be converted into simple present when we are converting direct narration from the indirect one. So students, we will just reverse, and of course we are going to give this inverted comma. So we will just reverse the direct narration from the indirect one, and when we are going to do the indirect to direct form, we are just going to reverse the rules we have learned. That is only the thing which we have to remember, and this is actually a matter of practice. In the next class we are going to practice more. Up to then, be safe, and of course for the students of Dhaka College, please participate in the 15th August quiz and 15th August essay writing competition and recitation competition. You have got time for this competition until 18th August, and the rules of the competition, those are written and given in the official page of Dhaka College. So take part in that competition and make the arrangement successful and give a tribute to the departed soul of our martyred father of the nation. Thank you, everyone.